Oh,
never had
okay.
a bad run-in with an artist. Like,
Me personally,
I had one argument with one, but
no.
no,
Personally, no.
Yeah.
But I still have had bare cancellations.
Wait, I still want to hear about that still. You don't have to name or not him, but what?
She's not even a star.
We
You
can
know,
name them if you want to, bro.
You know, it's a group. She was in a group.
Was it free? A group of three?
Was it a group of three? I'm not sure.
She don't
They
even
have a
remember.
big song.
I recall them.
Huh?
But her name. So you
don't
must
know.
know this song. It's from like. Oh, YouTube won't let me skip.
You know,
Yes, like that sometimes.
Skips. You know you do that info thing and then you just report it.
that makes you an idiot.
I didn't know that chick still.
Yeah, you report the adverts. Me and her got in some big argument backstage at the I know she's rude. But she came and apologized to me because she wasn't the headline, so M people weren't the headliner, but they were like co-headline. And sound checks ran over, and certain people wasn't going to get sound checks.
I literally bit into the grave.
What?
Now carry on.
Just carry on.
I was so out of it, and then that just woke me back up. Please continue.
And then she was in a dressing room. Her dressing room was nice. Like all the dressing rooms at O2 backstage are nice. Like there's not a bad one. Like it's more just like a location. Like if you're close to the stage or if you're like
mad far.
Yeah, that's all it really is. But they're all the same. Then right.
No, to him.
Oh, and then she started complaining, saying that her dressing room wasn't nice enough, telling me her dressing room wasn't nice enough, saying how it's too cold. So I've gone in there, I've gone and got
to wear more layers then.
Literally, I went and got facilities to like show her like this is the hottest room's gonna go. Like showed her the alternatives. Like you can either have this room, which was more like for crew, and have like the showers and whatever.
She wanted you to go to Argos and get that.
She literally
like a new room, a new room, and just implant it there.
She was just being a bitch, like. So me
what?
We were just going back and forth arguing, and then it's not until like her assistant got involved, and I was just like, look, like I'm not. If you're gonna talk to me like that for the rest of the day, like someone else can come and deal with you because I'm not dealing with it.
Ooh, that was professional. I liked it. That was classy.
There's nothing else I can do.
That was gangster.
And then, and then she eventually she came back to me, and then she was just like, oh, like I just want to apologise for my behaviour earlier, and you know, it's not like a reflection of me, and I was so over it by then. I was like, okay, enjoy the life, have a good set.
Like, bruv, it's already done.
Yeah, like. Days like that, it's like an 8 a.m. get in and you're not leaving at like midnight. Like I don't care. Like I'm tired. So you're like anything you say to me, you're trying shit. Like I don't give a shit. So yeah, we were just like, yeah, it wasn't a good day.
We're moving on now.
Industry days, industry stories. That's crazy. But yeah, since we started, let's do like a proper intro. Let them know who we are. The Experimentation Podcast.
Back again. Oh wait, shit, that's someone else's. Let's do that again.
Sorry. And you forgot what this was?
Yeah, man, let's do that again.
Okay, cool. Experimentation Podcast.
Yes.
Come on, we're locked, we're in. You know, it is J the Kid, aka Return of the Kid. What's good? Who are you?
L as RBG, Grand Verbalizer LA.
Hey, when did you start that one?
It's brand new. Premiered exclusively on The Experimentation Podcast. And also known as LA.
The one and only.
Come on, we're here, man.
Come on. Yeah, we're here joined with a special guest with us today.
Actually, a couple technically, but yeah.
A couple. One who's not on the mic, but the other one on camera today with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Cheryl.
I
I don't know, like, what do I say here? Like, you guys have got
sell
good
yourself.
intros.
Your brand.
So,
what you do.
I mean, I'm Cheryl. I'm Cheryl Bruce. I mean, I don't have like a tag.
see you, Bruce.
I'm CB. If you wanna...
You know what's mad? She just took that risk still. She took the risk.
Anyways, I'm Cheryl. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. Ooh. And I mean, we've got to put it out there because I do everything. You know? I do a bit of everything.
Yo.
I haven't launched yet, but I've started my little homeware brand. So that's exactly. Hopefully by the time this is out, it's already, you know, dropped, so that should be
We
interesting.
can tap into this.
Man said it would have been booming by that time.
Should have hit our first milli, man.
It's like, oh yeah, I did do that like 6 years ago. I heard that.
I remember them peasants.
Them bums.
You've been paying me for that
I'm
one
so
still. Alright, but yeah, welcome to the Experimentation Podcast.
It's good to be here.
It's good to have you here as well. How are we today?
I'm warm. Like, I'm a bit warm, yeah, but I'm good.
You're drinking wine,
Ooh.
which is
Aye,
not nice.
She never had more than me still.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, but you lot, this is your first glasses. Everyone's moving slow. Like.
Are you crazy? Look.
I'm taking my time. I'm taking my time with
Another
it.
bottle we need to run to.
Hold tight, H2O.
Yeah. The only one we'll be promoting to this still.
Literally.
Yeah, so I want to start off first with a little segment that we do. If you've watched previously before, there's a little segment that I started doing where I would just start talking about a story that I've written and then get people's reactions from it. But we're going to intro it properly as an actual segment because when I did it before, I think people were a bit confused. Like,
You just dropped it straight on their headpiece.
I keep watching back old videos of like when I started it. People are looking at everyone like,
Their facial expressions were
it was
hilarious.
so funny.
As in, people's facial expressions were literally of, right? And then they started busting up laughing.
Craig was busting. He was like, hey, what the fuck's this? What's going on? But yeah, so their stories kind of based on like real life scenarios that I've either witnessed or heard that I just put together and write, and then I just get reactions from
Jerry the Kid Rowling, aka Jerry the Kid Rowling.
I said Jerry the Kid Rowling.
Where they are.
But yeah, let me get into it. If I can just find it really quickly.
Technical issues.
No, we're good.
Say nothing.
So this story is called The Number One Fan. And it goes like this. Toby is a drill rapper from North London.
No, you didn't have to say his ends. That is 10 times funnier.
Nah, you got to, because
that is so
specificity.
Alright,
People
large up Toby.
I don't even know why that was funny, but that was
North London makes that 10 times funnier.
Like, maybe a bit of what he looks like or how he moves.
Large up all the Tobys worldwide. You get me?
Anyways, Taylor, his girlfriend of over a year, doesn't rate his music too highly, as she thinks it's unauthentic and uninspired. This is something she has voiced to him before during the early stages of their relationship. Toby has since been working on finding his sound. Taylor is a massive fan of underground rapper Civil, who, after years of being an anonymous figure in the music scene, has released a number of tracks creating a buzz around him. He's gained a cult following since the end of lockdown last year and has gone on to do a few shows around London, as well as some abroad, one of which he meets Taylor at. At this particular show, he sees her in the crowd and is intrigued. Taylor and her friend Megan take a few videos at the show to post on Snapchat, which they later repost on the gram and tag him. That same night, after the show, Civil sees the tag and likes a number of her pictures. He doesn't follow her page, but he messages her, saying he spotted her at the show while he was performing and was grateful that she came out to see him. They start a conversation and tells her he has free tickets for her and her friend Megan at his next show in London. She's ecstatic about it, but quickly realizes that this is the same event that Toby is going to be performing at as a supporting act. When she gets back from abroad, she speaks with Toby about his upcoming performance. She doesn't mention her conversation with Civil, instead saying that she was given free tickets for her and Megan as part of a giveaway that she signed up for. She thinks this would be a good idea for Toby to free up his allocation of tickets for his friends. Toby, however, expresses his annoyance at the fact that she didn't want to claim some of his tickets, mostly to do with the fact that she had chosen Civil's tickets over his, but partly because he was allocated less tickets than him, one of which he had to use to bring his DJ, who wasn't allowed to perform alongside him.
That will never not be a violation.
Yeah. Taylor says she will still be with him earlier for his soundcheck and will hang around with him backstage for support. This puts him at ease as he is really eager to get her to enjoy his music. This is the first time that Taylor has come to see him perform, and so he's feeling the pressure. On the eve of the event, Civil messages her saying he wants to see her after the show. She says she will be there to support her boyfriend as well as him and thanks him for the ticket. Civil says it's fine, but still wants to see her regardless. She says she will see about it. She travels with Toby on the night of the event. She travels with Toby, Megan, 2 of Toby's friends, and his DJ for his soundcheck. They finish and hang around for a bit before she and Megan run out to get some food for the gang. On their way back, they bump into Civil with his entourage away from the line outside the venue. They hang around for a while to talk about the show until she remembers she was supposed to bring the food back for Toby and his friends. She runs back to catch him as he's preparing to go on for his set. She apologizes for being late and wishes him good luck before heading to the stands. Despite Toby's best efforts, the pressure of the night gets to him and he delivers an underwhelming set.
Oh no.
The DJ, not the one that he was given, not the one that he asked for, but the one that's given to him, messes up his beats several times. People constantly talk over his songs, making it hard to vibe with the crowd.
That's a violation.
He only gets to his 3rd song of a 5-song set before it's cut short by a heckler who has been constantly throwing abuse towards him. This sets off Toby's boys and are provoked into an altercation with the antagonizer, resulting in Toby being ushered off stage and his friends and the heckler from the building.
You got ushered.
There is now a brief intermission while Civil is getting ready to come on. After witnessing the debacle, she goes to see Toby backstage. She asks if he's okay, to which he looks back at her and asks, "What do you think?" She ignores the anger in his tone and says that she'll wait with him until Civil's set. He says they need to leave as his friends have been kicked out and he can't leave them. She says she still wants to see Civil as she was given tickets for the whole gig. Exacerbated, he asks why she really came and expresses his disappointment in her not being supportive. She tells him she's tried and it's not worked out for him, so she wants to enjoy the rest of her night. Toby tells her one more time that they need to go, to which she refuses. He takes offense, cussing her out before leaving to find his friends. End the story.
I will
So
not
yeah,
say anything. I will not say anything.
I just want to find out, how toxic do you think her behavior is towards Toby? So from like the whole story, listening to her, you know, their motives and how she sort of behaved with him, how toxic do you think? Let's number it on a scale of 1 to 10.
I mean, she's already expressed she's not like into his music like that. And that's okay. Like, not everyone has to like, you know, even if it's their partner music. But I feel like because he had a bad set as well as his first performance, like she possibly could have like, you know, been there for him a bit more.
Yeah.
However, him cussing her out, like, doesn't need to get there.
Yeah. Which is fair.
And also, yeah, I mean, like, they're in a relationship, so obviously her wanting to stay to see another guy. But then she does have tickets. So maybe stick her on still. Because she's supposed to be there for him. Wait, I can't remember now.
So,
did she say that she's gone there to see, obviously to support her partner, but see this artist as well?
Yeah.
She already told him that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so he already knows, but he's had a bad set, so. So, I mean.
Oh no.
What's your take on this?
He's changed the scenario. The original one, she violated. On this one,
so yeah,
there's way more leeway, and I can understand. She's not as toxic at all. She's about a 6.
6?
Honestly, she isn't that toxic in this one.
Okay.
He starts shouting her that bro behavior. So, yo, good.
Would you say though, because his set, I say this one was probably worse because he got ushered off. He didn't get paid for this. Getting
ushered off is hilarious.
That's his, like, you didn't finish your set. You got ushered off for a fact that you didn't even start. His boy's fault. In the one that I did before, I had him. Fought. Yeah, he was fighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, but I get it. But she was still bad for not leaving. She should, as his girlfriend, should leave on principle. It doesn't matter what you think. Should leave. You understand?
But then there's also the element of she's talking to...
She lied about the tickets. That's the flagrant thing, number one. She didn't have to lie about where she got the tickets from. she also responded to her next man's DM. So actually, in hindsight, she's mad toxic, and I'm gonna bump that back up to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm thinking, because it's there. Like, it wasn't just that. Like, she was. I think she did try, and obviously, like,
She tried this time. Beforehand, she actually violated.
She violated.
And there was a part 2 where she did it.
I can't even do the part 2.
Intergalactic violation. It's mad.
It's long.
The violation's crazy.
It is long. But definitely with this one as well, Toby probably could have reacted. But I tried to make it a bit more so that he was he was less of a victim and more like, you know, anything that happened to him, it was of his own doing, not just like it happened to him.
I was gonna say, because last time there was some cheese. How can you just roll up and have no DJ?
He went home on the bus.
I'm so gonna.
Nah, you're a prick. You're a prick.
Yeah. No, but
Just want to stress that these are not real people, these are characters. So if you're Toby from North London and you got a similar situation, please don't find Jerry and punch him up.
We're sorry.
Please don't find Jerry. Punch him up.
We're sorry.
Because it is entirely made up.
It's very made up.
Allegedly.
Very made up. Nah, very made up. I don't know these people at all. I don't know these people. But yeah.
But that's interesting though. You got an interesting perspective. It was quite balanced. And I like that. It wasn't
I feel
like
like
she's
they
a prick
both-
or he's an arsehole. It was very much, you gave
They both
both
played
the
their part, didn't they?
because both sides have to take accountability,
I
don't they?
mean, yeah. Now they're gonna go home and make up.
I don't know about that, Carl. I don't know about
No,
that.
I want to know what you think now, because
No, I'm still on this one.
No, we want to. We're gonna hear your voice.
No,
anyways.
it's fine. I'm good.
Which basically means that she didn't think she was toxic, really.
No, it's fine. On the next one, guys.
She'll be there, guys. On the next one, you'll see her. Yeah. Well, the reason I brought that scenario up specifically, so obviously Toby, Civil, both being creatives, like doing their art and, you know, trying to make a living for themselves in the show.
Yeah.
They've got almost like a struggle for themselves. Civil less so, but you know, Toby, number one, he's trying to make a name for himself as, you know, a rapper.
Yeah.
Getting the support, you know, from people that's around him is one thing, but it's also, you know, I probably should have wrote this in the actual story itself, but essentially he didn't get paid for that show. Like, he got into a fight. There's no bag.
His brethren did, but I understand.
As in his entourage, like the security were like, okay. And the manager as well at the venue.
How can a man do
like,
2
yeah.
plus?
He's
Easily, I
looking
think.
like them are your people's. Okay, yeah. So he had words after the show, but yeah, that's something that I thought would be a good conversation to like get on, because you know, us as creators, we're in that industry, we're in the creative industry, even though we're not doing it as much as we'd like to. There was a time when I came into it and like I had no idea about what I was doing or how I was going to make money from it. It was all just idealistic, like, you know, I'm going to be a producer, I'm going to be in the studio working with these people, and then somehow I'm going to get paid, you know. I thought maybe it won't start off like really big, but, you know, I'll be in a room, someone will hear me doing something, and then it just goes from there. And, you know, I guess to an extent, there's that element of like you're networking and you build that network and it grows into something, but the money doesn't flow the same way. It will be like that where it grows, but the money's always still going to be like very, very, like it's not there. So I just wanted to ask, like, you as a creative, like, that's probably something you've gone through at the beginning stages of your career.
Yeah, I mean, right, I have actually got a story. So obviously, well, not obviously, because I don't know, but mostly like during lockdown, so I was making cakes at a point. It was just a different outlet for me to, you know, express my creativity through a different medium rather than, you know, using a canvas or through fabrics. I was like, let me try cakes. So anyway, so I applied, you know, my love of textile design to cakes to create something spectacular. And obviously, in my head, I had this idea that, cool, people are going to, I love it, so I don't see why people aren't going to love it. And yeah, I'm just going to be like, whoosh. It's going to go, even though I understand, like, Rome wasn't built in a day, but I still had that thought of, you know what, this is going to go really well for me. Yeah, it didn't. And that's okay. But I was like, you know what? I stopped for a bit. So this was before I, you know, found my niche. And then I just, I was like, let me just continue doing it. Let me just stick at it. So I started doing that and whatnot. And let me like get back on track to the actual point. But so yeah, anyways, I had this opportunity. So I went out and I was at this like shisha bar kind of place. Anyways, I'm very talkative and I talk to people around me all the time. So I was just like talking to this girl. She came over, she needed a seat, whatever. And and I just told her about my cake business. I was like, just let her know, whatnot. And obviously through that, I got contacted that someone wanted a cake for their show. Anyways, I'm there thinking, oh, it's for an artist, cool. I'm gonna get paid. The reason why I'm laughing here.
That is not how that works.
The reason why I'm laughing is because like the way that it was presented to me was like, oh, how many can you do, whatnot? And I was like, I can do as many as you want, because like I'm available. Let me just, it's cupcakes. Anyways. Yeah, when we got speaking about it, it's like, oh, like, not going to be able to pay. I think the payment was going to be like a ticket. So it was like so basically it was like the host for that show, like wanted something, I guess that was branded for them.
What kind of show was it? Was it like a live sort of?
Was it like a music show?
It was a music, yeah. So the artist, the thing is, the artist didn't even know about it. That's the thing. I think what she wanted to do was like get branded stuff for her show because like she had loads of other branded stuff. Mm-hmm. So anyways, she got in contact with her and then she reached out to me. Mm-hmm. I mean the girl that I met, sorry. But the artist is...
Yeah, I thought so.
And
I did some research on that and I saw that.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyways, back to that. So I was like, you know what? I can't be doing 500 cupcakes, 200 cupcakes. And I'm not... No, because she was like, as many as you can do. So I was obviously like, I can do 500, I can do as many as you want. But when I heard that...
you were thinking...
Yeah, but obviously when I heard that, and this is before like I was like selling cakes like that as well, just to like let you know. The cakes that I'd sold before were like family members were like buying and family friends were buying, but like not anyone outside of that, like that anyways. So yeah, so I was thinking in my head, oh, do I do it? Do I not? So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to do it. But I didn't do that many. I did like 50. And I was, yes, it was still a lot. Like I'd never done 50 in one go. So, and also I had Burna Boy concert that day as well. So I couldn't even go to the other one. So yeah, I made them, like I had a nightmare with them. Like I was stressing. We had a whole production line. Like I was doing this. My mum was helping me fill them because it was just so much stress. She wanted the branded. So I had to like get next day delivery for the stickers and whatnot. Anyways, I made it. Got there. The girl wasn't there. Like no one was there. It was just like security and stuff. So I just popped them down and then what's it called? And then I went to was it Wembley? Yeah, it was Wembley. It was Burna Boy's Wembley. He was at Wembley. Anyways, after that, like the next day, I was just curious, and I was like, you know what? Let me just have a look and see what's happening about them. Like they were everywhere. Like people were like taking loads of videos of like the cakes and everything. And I left my business cards there. But like no one knew who they were from.
I was gonna say, it was a smart idea that you did do that.
Cupcake, I'm stuffing
I left my business, but no one knew who it, and people were like, oh, the cakes, these are amazing, and some girl, it was like so the person that actually saw the thing was like this model. So I was like, you know what, let me just DM her and be like, oh, hi, like, can you send me this video? Because, I made these and I didn't get a chance to like,
take the actual credit for them properly.
So then she was like, oh my God, you did it, whatever. And so I thought, you know what, usually, so during that time I was like kind of getting myself out there and like just networking a bit more. So I was like, you know what, it is what it is. Let me just DM and just see, innit? So I sent her a DM, I was like, oh, I hope your show went well. Sorry I couldn't stay. La di da, blah blah blah. Hope you enjoyed them. Just to like get some feedback. And then she messaged back, and her message, like she didn't even know like, you know, who it was from or whatnot. Because obviously I think this person had like presented the art as kind of like a present, I guess.
But it wasn't. It was
yeah,
your hard
exactly.
work.
yeah. So anyways, so she was like, oh, thank you so much. She was like, send me, like, I'll send you through, you send me your videos, whatever, la-di-da. And then, after that, I was like, I'm glad I did that because she wouldn't have even known who they were from, like, just like a present.
And it would have came and went.
Yeah, and I was like, I was a little bit annoyed because, I did all this hard work for free.
Can I just come off the back of your question?
Yeah, go for it.
I checked the Instagram bio and had creative in your bio. I wanted to know how that shapes your life as in terms of creativity itself and how being a creative informs your daily life decisions.
Yeah.
So how does that help you go throughout the world, navigate throughout the world? Does that make sense? Being a creative and what that means to you.
Do you know what? It's like, what do I put in my bio? Like, initially, I couldn't put entrepreneur because I guess I didn't have that belief of, okay, cool, I am an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But it's a little tough one, you know.
I'm thinking about it.
It's tough. It's tough because it's so broad.
Yeah, I'm going to try to refine it and make it in business.
Yeah.
What does being a creative in business? Because people often think that those two worlds clash.
Yeah.
So how are you operating in that space as a creative in business?
Okay, it's a bit of both. Because there is a business element to it, but you have to detach that from your passion as a creative. And it's hard because, I've got so many stories. But like before this, like when I was younger, I wanted to go into fine art. I loved art so much. I studied it in college, and obviously you have to go through the criterias to pass your exams, right? So you have to do certain things. Listen. Some of the things that they had us doing, like, it made me hate art.
Such as?
It made me hate art. Like, stuff like, there's this form of art, it's called chiaroscuro, and basically it means, like, light and dark. So it's drawing in a certain way that, you know, you heavily show darkness and light. My drawing skill is completely opposite to that. I'm very faint in everything I do, and then I'll build up on it. So they'll force you to do certain things.
I was going to ask that question.
You have to do it to pass the exam. But as an artist, like, everyone's style is so different that you
do you feel like you've been trained into a style via college? Do you feel as if going to that education establishment kind of prohibited some of your creative force to an extent and made you draw inside the lines a little bit?
Yeah, it did, and that's why I didn't like it, and that's why I leaned more towards textile design, because that was so much broad. Because you could literally do anything with that. It's not just fabrics.
Okay.
It's not limited to fabrics. It's any material you want to use. So there's that element of art to it, but no one's forcing that you have to do a certain style of design. Whereas art, you have to do chiaroscuro. You have to be able to do mark making. You have to do portraiture, for example. You have to do life drawings, and you have to hit all of those in the exam, because most of it is coursework anyway. So it's like, what's the ratio? It's like 80% coursework or something. So if you don't have that element of life drawing or chiaroscuro, then you're gonna fail in those bits, and your grade will go lower. So you have to do those things.
I do think it's an important point you raised, because I think people often mistake the artistic subjects as being less encumbering than the other subjects. So people often think that in the UK schooling system, that it's just maths and English that is restrictive. It's not. All of it is built like with a certain purpose of trying to stump your creative thought in a sense. And so I think it's a good story that you gave. So it gives a broader perspective of that. And how you fought against it has now informed the artist you are today, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got any more question?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, like, literally the story you gave, as you're telling it, I'm just like, yeah, my uni experience. I don't know about yours, because I think you did business, innit?
I did
So it'd be I don't know if it'd probably be a different experience. But
to an extent, but
yeah.
I've realised how much doing business, this is going to sound crazy, doing business informed me how much of a creative I genuinely was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that it was that. It's two different sides of your brain. You can do both, and you can center focus, but it takes a lot of hard work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I've kind of realized when doing business. And I probably need more business-minded people around me all the time for the finer details. And I was going to ask you about attention to detail, because you say that's like your key skill in it. So how important is attention to detail to you in your work and then in the rest of your life? Because if it's in art, then I'm presuming it's got to be very important, because every detail makes or breaks the paintings or the textiles.
Yeah.
I'm not very artistic, so I'm trying to get the right language in it.
Yeah.
But how much does attention, how important of a part does that play in your business in terms of, I've asked about 3 questions in one. So I'm gonna first start with business. So how, as a creative, paying attention to detail, does that inform your business? And then expand it to the rest of your artistic work.
Okay. It's a huge part, but at the same time, it isn't.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, like, I'm a perfectionist. I can be very picky about things that I do and harsh on myself as well. So when it comes to business, I need to also remember that even though I look at I've made something and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's got this little thing on it and it's not good, I can't sell this. I need to remember that the people that are buying it,
haven't got
they
your same eye.
don't see that. They don't see what I see. So I need to, like, be smart about it and just realize it's actually perfect. Like, it's fine the way
for them,
it is.
because it's like the stuff they asked for, innit?
Exactly.
Because you have to bring their vision to life.
Exactly.
And that's what you've got to take yourself out of. Sometimes it's like, it's not about what my vision is of it, it's what theirs is. And if the customer is happy, everything is A-okay.
Exactly, yeah.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, so you've got to kind of detach that a little bit. It's hard because you want to put out your best work, but my work is never going to be the best. I can keep going on and on and on and on and on with it. I've just got to learn when to stop and be like, okay, that's cool.
Do you think being a perfectionist prohibits you from sometimes getting stuff done?
Yeah, absolutely. I start so many paintings sometimes that I never finish.
That makes sense.
I'll come back a year later
I can understand
and be
it,
like, okay, cool.
For songs.
Yeah.
Beats.
You beats, yeah, 100%. You're definitely a perfectionist.
Gone unfinished.
I remember writing songs when I used to write raps. To the T with my thing, I was proper intricate. Like when I wanted to be, it's like, and I'd be harsh on myself if it wasn't that level, because I grew up on rappers who were super duper intricate. So yeah, it's about mastering one thing and then making everything else strengths. Not turning weaknesses into strength, but strengthening your weaknesses, if that makes sense. So that's what I'd say as well.
He's definitely a rapper,
This guy's an idiot. You also did some work experience, like at a hotel, innit? How was that experience, and what have you learned from that to translate that into business?
Ooh.
Like at the Four Seasons?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, oh yeah. Do you know what? I needed the money as well.
Hey! That's basically said, don't give up a bag. You don't get a bag, go get your bag, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get to where you need to be going.
Yeah.
But Four Seasons I really thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. I'm not gonna lie. There's some hotel that I'm like, if someone's going somewhere, I'm just like, don't go there.
Man have to shade like the rest of the
But Four Seasons, they care about, you know, their employees, their brand name. They had hand sanitizer stations everywhere down the floor. Do you know what I mean? This is way before COVID. Sorry, COVID, you know.
COVID?
This is way before COVID.
How long were you there
times. It was temp work, but you know when, well, temp work. But when they like someone, they'll be like, okay,
Then,
cool. They'll
like, they
request
keep
you
you
all the
on.
time.
Yeah.
So then anytime they need like agency staff, they'll like keep you. They'll be like, okay, I want this person to come on. So it's kind of like, so I was doing like banqueting, so like waiting. I had my own tables and whatnot. Maybe I'd look after 1 or 2 tables in the night and for events. And then I did hostessing there as well, which was interesting.
Interesting.
But,
So you brought up the show and how you initially got to start in the cake business.
Yeah.
So does the name Untitled come from people not knowing the name?
No, so Untitled.
Yeah, I want to know where that comes from. I want to know where that comes from.
Literally, Untitled. When I was at Rave and I did my foundation there.
Okay.
We have a project. We have an FMP that we have to do.
I'm not
It
sure.
literally stands for Final Major Project.
Fine.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Thank you for clarifying, because there's going to be some terms where like, the wider audience are not going to know, innit?
Yeah,
so it's good to get some
it literally means
clarification
final
on that.
major project. So you work on that and then you present your final pieces. Obviously, it was fashion. It was art and design, but in fashion. So it was a bit of both. So yeah, Untitled. Why did I even think of? Anyways, it was the name of my FMP. My
Untitled.
FMP was called Untitled Memoir, and that actually came from. So during that time, so I can't remember how much in, but my stepfather was diagnosed with lung cancer, and when it was all in the midst of everything. So when the final major project came around, I was like, okay, this is a perfect thing for me to like base on, because I have a love for deterioration and like mold. I just think it's really interesting.
I saw your post when you did your market, and congratulations by the way. That
Thank you.
very good. Yeah, I did see that there.
So it was interesting. I think for me, is seeing how someone can rapidly deteriorate, like mind, body, from being such a strong person. Hearing when someone hears that they're ill, they're sick, and they're gonna die, like it's set in their brain. It automatically starts happening. It's so crazy.
There's a name for that.
Oh, do you know it?
I'm trying to find out there's a name for
But
that.
when someone tells you something that you didn't know before, because apparently he had the cancer for years in him, but it went undetected.
And then it starts to...
And he literally had a stroke. And then,
yeah.
And as soon as he heard it, like his health just declined so quickly. And so that's what that project was about. And it was kind of like a memoir to him. It was a series of prints and garments that I did. And I did like a video as well. So I had a blog for it. The only person that could see that blog was my tutor, because it was so personal. But there was like video. It's his birthday as well. He had his birthday, so we like did all of that. But then I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, so that's where Untitled Memoir came from. So I just continued the Untitled name because it just fit perfectly. And so it went Untitled Cakes. It was the same about deterioration. It's just that same theme running through. Like a project never really ends. You continue it on.
That's a brilliant way of looking at it.
So from there, it's now gone to Untitled Studios, because studios, I can do a lot of things. I love creating. So I'm not limited to just doing one thing or using one material. So that's why I've just called it Untitled Studios. So I can be able to expand on that as well in the future.
So, yeah, give that another round of applause.
Yeah. That's really, really nice.
So you also mentioned about trying to create a space for Black creatives. What do you envision that to be, A? And then my second question is, you didn't mention it verbatim, but you talked about gentrification and you kind of coded it in language, which I like the way you coded it in language. Discuss to me the deterioration in your eyes of Peckham, because people talk about Brixton a lot, because it's very evident they can see what's happened to Brixton. Culturally, it's deteriorated, innit? How has that process gone in Peckham? Because it's not as evident to people as you go to Peckham. Does that make sense? So if you recall my first question, ask that one first. I can just say it again still.
Yes, please.
You asked 2 questions in a row.
Sorry,
I want listening.
I was about to answer the second one straight away.
In fact, answer the second one first, and then I'll just recall my first question because I'm like,
So deterioration in Peckham.
So like basically cultural deterioration,
Yeah.
aka gentrification, innit?
Yeah.
So people moving the poor black people out, moving in the wealthy upper middle class white people. Like discuss to us how that's had a primary effect on you and as a community. Because obviously you've grown up there for years, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's had a massive impact. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, most of the community is lost. Where I live, we've got a really. I grew up in Camberwell and then moved to Peckham, and where I live, like literally everyone was moved at the same time, so we've sort of grown up together. And we, funny enough, over lockdown we had like an 18-year anniversary, like get together vibes in the park. We did candy in the street, everything.
Oh shit!
But yeah, there's quite a few. It's literally the whole street, and then obviously then years later they did the other half. So it became like a circle instead of a crescent. But anyways, so yeah, that crescent it's very community led. Like we would go out to play together. You knock on your friends, on your neighbour's door, let's go out to play or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That pretty much, obviously we've grown up, so it's not there as much, but that community is still there in comparison to like going down Peckham High Street. I would go there with my grandma all the time. We'd go to Kumasi, the shop literally down the road, get supermarket, get like all the African food and bits that she needs to cook food. That's pretty much lost. We've got Costa now. We've got Nando's.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, you can't go down the shop and go down Peckham, and be like, oh, I remember this person because they're gone. They're not there anymore.
That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, because it's happening across, even in Croydon where people have no money, it's still being happened to them, which is, I think, is even worse because people are shifted out and they're not having the money to even go anywhere else. So it's quite a sad sight. And trying to think of ways to combat it. Do you have any ways where you can think to combat it, or are you just thinking it's just a sad sight to see and you've noticed it, like you're aware of it?
I don't know if there's a way to. Like, it's sad, and the way things are looking, yeah.
I think a way to start is obviously to practice group economics. That's the first way to start, is actually cultivate black wealth together and create businesses. But that's hard at the moment because we're not working with each other. A lot of us are working against each other. You know what I'm saying? That's a way to collect.
I think business-wise, obviously they have Peckham levels. That's pretty community-based.
I've been there before.
That's pretty community-based. And also they offer, like, I've been looking into it, which would be nice to expand at some point, but they have like studio spaces there. But if you live in Peckham, they're obviously giving you it on I think half the price or something like that. They're offering it half the price. Also, like, you can go there and just chill and do work anyway. But I like that they've kind of kept that if you live in Peckham, you know, you've got that
Safe
way
space.
in as well to like get a studio space that's a lot cheaper and that you can afford.
I think it's a needed space because what's going on in Camberwell and Peckham right now, it's quite sad to see in terms of there's a lot of politics going on a street level that's making it a lot harder for people to move around, especially if you're not from there. Like, if you're from there, it's a bit easier, but there's a lot going on. Like, if you go to Bagel King, you go to all these other places, you'll start seeing all these problems exacerbating and, like, manifesting in public eye. Do you know what I mean? Like, on a street level of whoever has problems with who. So I feel like that safe space being available is very important. And it takes me back to my original question of, you said you're trying to cultivate basically black spaces. How do you envision that as a creative?
I envision that being beautiful. Like, mainly aimed like at black female creatives, especially, like just getting us in one place, because when you want to start out as a creative or like business, whatever it is that you do, like, one thing you need is support. And it'll be nice to have a space where people can come together and, oh, okay, you can film, oh, you do, I don't know, you're a photographer. Okay, cool, let's come together. Let's do something together as a collective and like create something. And then we've all got, you know, that experience off of it. We've got that work, our names behind that work, whatever it may be. But yeah.
Well, that's interesting because I think there should be more of that unifying talk to build structures. Because it's all good just saying we're going to do this, but it's like building institutions that can last way longer than our lifetimes, our kids' lifetimes, and that remain black. Because if we can't do it in the system, it has to be outside the system, doesn't it? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the system is not going to come fix these problems which they perpetuate and, you know what I'm saying, like benefit from. So yeah, have you any more questions?
Yeah, I actually want to take it back to more of the creative, but then like the business side of things as well. So when we was talking about, you know, you was studying, you was in college, you was doing your work, but it was kind of like you're being put in a box essentially, being made to do things that you couldn't do, or you just didn't want to do. Like it wasn't your art essentially. I experienced a similar thing at uni where I'm doing my final projects and, you know, we basically got told we can put together like a project. It just has to have like a purpose. You have to present that purpose like in your written dissertation, and then you have to just document everything as you're going along. And, you know, at the time, I was still growing into myself as a producer, learning the ways I wanted to work. I ended up doing the project, but it took me longer than I wanted it to. And the whole process just felt like hell because me documenting everything, I think it wasn't the issue that I couldn't, but, you know, I'm trying to like enjoy the process as I'm doing it and take time to do it. And so by the end of it, you know, the fun had just completely gone out of it. I was finishing for the sake of I needed to finish and get out of uni. And so, yeah, like I saw it as sort of almost like a block in me, because essentially now, like I still produce music, but that's not my main goal. You know, I have more aspirations in the business side of it. And I always looked at it as sort of like a block for it. But what your experience was, and then the story you also gave as well, there's also the side of, yeah, they're pushing you to be a bit more industry and like fit into a box, but it's so that you can, at the end of it, become a bit more profitable. Because if you see where you've had the opportunity where, you know, you've given your case, you put your card in and everyone loved it, and they were able to, I don't know if you were able to get opportunities from it, but they were able to see that, oh, this person had done it. You DM'd the artist, she got back to you, and you had that connection, you had that network that was established there. Did you, at the time when it happened, did you think you saw that as like a positive at the time? Or were you completely just like, no, like, I did all that work and then got nothing back? Like, how did you feel?
I think when I did it, and then I just saw everything pop up, I'm like, oh my God, no one even knows who did it. I kind of felt like, oh. But then that's where I acted. That's why I just did what I had to do, contact them and just like get that out. And I think in a way that was, everything happened for a reason and it worked out good because I did gain a customer that was buying from me. And so yeah, it wasn't all a loss, but it just made me mindful of like, as much as you think sometimes in life, I do this, I should always be paid like that. Sometimes you've got to make some sacrifices you might not be happy about. It might actually not have worked out like that. And I might have never gained a customer. I might never have. But it was worth like giving it a go anyway. Because something did come from it. So sometimes in life, as much as you think, oh cool, I'm creative, I do this. So yeah, there's sometimes you should be paid, but at the same time, sometimes you've got to make a sacrifice and you might have to do a few free things in order to see that, you know, profit. But that's entirely like up to you. It's your decision if you want to make that call. But yeah.
When for you, was there like a moment it sort of clicked for you that like this is maybe how I have to move? Like there's got to be times I've got to take that L sometimes, or like I've just got to, you know, like give it, do the free thing and then hopefully something can come out of it, but it might not. Like, was there a moment that you were
was
like...
there a moment? I'm trying... yeah, it was literally when I got asked to do it and then realised this person's not paying me. Then I was like, no, I'm just going to have to take the L and just do it because I just never know. If she genuinely likes them, she could potentially buy cupcakes for me or cakes or whatever in future.
Mhm.
And that's when I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. I'm here now. Let me just do it.
Yeah.
I'll just do it. 50 is my max though. I'm not doing any more than that. I'm not doing any more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me just do it, innit?
Do you think that artist's size and their profile and cachet informed that decision or helped that decision? You're like, I know such and such. I know my girl. I know she's a good artist, or I like her music. Was it a bit of that, or was it just this look is key? What kind of made that choice easier for you? Just so you can reflect back to other creatives, because they might have a similar problem of, this is a massive artist. Like, if I don't do
it's
this...
not so much about the artist. You've got to think about what the cupcakes for.
I
They're
like
they're for show. Really, they're gonna eat it, yeah, but they're for show. It's not the artist so much that's gonna be. It doesn't matter if the artist posts it. It doesn't mean you're gonna get customers. It's all the supporters. They're posting it. They're tasting it. They're showing it, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is branded!" Like, "Oh, what's this?" Like, that's the excitement. It's just, I just need it to be out there.
That makes perfect
I just need to get out there. So it's not so much that she could post it and I'll get no customers. Like, genuinely it.
Yeah.
But it's all of the people that are supporting her, that are trying it, that are tasting it, that are thinking, "Oh, who did this?" Like, it's going to be in the memory. So
that's a good point to other young creators of sometimes it's not about who you're doing it for, it's the why. It's always about purpose. If you have no purpose doing it, you might as well not do it. It's a good one, I like that.
If you're doing it because you think, oh, this artist is big, or whoever it is big and they're famous, whatever.
Or like this person.
Influencer, yeah. Like, don't, because, yeah, it might not work out the way you want it to. But you've just got to think, you know, I enjoy doing this. I know I'm good at it. So out of all the people that taste it, I know there's someone that's going to be in it that's like, oh, actually, I don't really like this. Like, who did it?
And always leave, as Cheryl did, a business card, some way of getting your credit. Because if people can cut you out of getting the credit, they can. And sometimes it's not even a conscious decision. It's just they don't know, so they don't care to investigate. So there's no bad mind intention behind it. It's literally as simple as, I don't know who did that. These taste good though. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Also, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid. If you see people posting your stuff and they're not tagging you,
claim ownership.
Just slide in those DMs. Yeah, don't even be ashamed of it. Just slide and just be like, oh, by the way, I did, like, just make it nice.
Is this something that you had from early, like a mindset where you were like, I'm gonna let people know this was me?
Not even. I was just like, I saw the videos posted. I was like, nah, they're just posting my stuff there. And they're not even like,
it was the pain of saying, like, I did 50 cakes.
And it's 'cause I didn't get paid. I did it because, you know what? I know that at some point I'll get paid for them. In future.
Yeah.
But like not being tagged, I was like, I spent like
time, effort, pain,
stress,
You know what? That is important.
Doing these.
Because it takes us back to, do you see all these social media pages, Young Kings, I'm Just Bait? Do you remember back in the day when they just used to post content and everyone thought it was them? Until people just started banning it. It got to the point where their pages got banned. So they had to start tagging people. It's the same principle.
Do you understand?
So obviously that's maybe a little bit of an extreme, but it worked. Sometimes you have to be extreme so it works. Because you don't know when people are going to hear you. You was lucky enough in terms of the artist that her and her team, whoever it was, are on their social media enough and did that extra due whatever it's called. You know what I'm saying? Due diligence to go look at what's going on and like, oh, that was the guy. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Whereas some bigger pages might not care. But I think everyone is watching. That's what people need to remember. Like, it might not even be the artists themselves, but their team is watching. Just today's megastars, Nickies of the world, they're watching the comments. They are. They've told you they have been. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you can spark the right amount of interest, like whether it's the right or the wrong way, is up to us to decide as consumers, but you're going to be able to spark that interest. You know what I mean? So it's always about taking that risk, to be honest.
I want to ask you about almost like the first time you had to first start charging for your art or your content.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell a story, not really a story, but like a brief sort of like memo from when I was asking a friend about his stuff. So our friend Neeks, he...
Big up my guy,
Big up Neeks. Yeah. So he's a rapper. He also...
Dope rapper. Very talented
Very
rapper.
dope. He does a lot of things actually, but he DJs as well.
He does content. That guy is like Superman fan.
He works.
My
But
brother.
specifically with the DJing, there was a time when he was doing a couple shows. This was like early when we first started like forming like a network with him. And I'd be at the shows and I'd see him DJing and I'd be like, bro, you're so dope. He's like, thank you, man. I'm like, are you getting paid for this? He's like, no, not really. I was like, what are you doing? And the next couple of times I see him at a show, or if there was even just like decks around and I was like, Neeks, are you DJing? He's like, no. I'm like, right, next time I see you, you better be getting paid. Because you are this talented now. Like, it's not a joke thing with you. You're actually sick. So you need to be getting paid. And yeah, I think eventually he started getting bookings where he was like...
Wicked. I didn't even know he was getting the bookings.
Yeah.
My guy,
I still got to ask him about,
my guy, Black.
still coming in, but, you know what I'm saying? I started looking at myself as, a producer that needs to start getting paid as well. And people around me start having conversations like, when are you getting paid? When are you going to start charging? And I guess I'd always been of a mindset of like, I like doing this for me and I like making the beats for myself. And then with my friends as well, like we're always just going to be in the studio making beats and just like enjoying ourselves. When it comes to that side of things, like, number one, I wasn't like business savvy at the beginning. I had to learn about it. And then even after that, I was kind of like, I'd heard a lot of negative stuff about the business and it being shady and you can get scammed out of things, all sorts of shit you just didn't want to get involved in. So I was kind of like, I want to start, but I want to do it the right way so that I don't get scammed. But yeah, I mean, I'll get into it more, but like, first of all, just what was like your first experience of like when you realized I need to start charging people now because this is really happening. Like this is.
What? I'm trying to think. Do you know what? When I got... I'm trying to think. I think it's when I thought, I can actually put this out there and people can... It's good enough that people would actually want to buy it, if that makes sense. Because obviously when you start, you're just learning. Yeah. So... as well as being a perfectionist, you kind of don't want to put rubbish out there. You want to make sure it's perfect enough or to a good standard where people are like, okay, I can see where, my money's going towards. If that makes sense. Also, another thing to remember is like that even though, no matter how small, there's like a story about Pablo Picasso and like a napkin. Anyways, I saw it like on, it was like on a real like the voiceover thing. Yeah. But basically, someone handed him a napkin and told him to just draw a quick sketch. And then he gave it back and then told her a large sum of money. And she was like, oh, how can you charge that? But it's literally because it's the years of experience. So I think once you know
I think I've heard this story before.
Yeah.
He's a thief, blood.
I'm dead.
I mean, like, it's years of
I'm
learning.
Joking, innit? I'm being facetious, but he's a thief, blood.
But yeah, it's like, when
Broski's
you
a
know
thief, like.
this is good enough for me to charge.
Oh, yeah.
Then you charge. Also, it's your time and effort. Okay. As well, like, if you want it to be a business, then you have to charge.
Was it always in your mind that what you were doing here was going to be a business? You were going to, like, make money from it?
No. At the beginning, it was literally, I made a drip cake for my friend for her birthday because I was just like, I want to give her something, but you know what, let me just make a cake because I just enjoyed baking.
How did you find that you had a talent for baking though? Was it literally...
Do you know what's so funny is that I made cakes before, but like, sometimes they were good, sometimes they were bad. And I just did it and she was like, oh my God. She basically tried to chase me around where I was working. with money, and I was like, no, it's a birthday, it's a present. But she's trying to pay me, and she's like, no, you need to be charging. Like constantly hearing like your friends like, you need to charge you, charge you. It's kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this, but yeah, that's kind of where it started. And then I was like, okay, cool, let's try this out. Let's try this thing out. But yeah.
Was there ever any like difficulty? You know, you were coming across people that you were thinking, oh, I don't want to charge them too much.
Absolutely. I was undercharging, boy. I forgot. You know, you need to pay yourself as well. It's not just the ingredients that's going in there and electricity. You've got to remember you're working those hours.
That's an important point. It's a really salient point to just hone in on. Of you got to keep your own lights on in your house. You understand? So you got to charge enough to cover your costs, let alone of making a profit. And I think some creatives, in the nature of trying to either please other creatives, so you being a producer trying to appease an artist to get a cheap beat, are often on, let's just try appease when I can maximize, or not even maximize, that's the wrong word, just try to actually cover my own costs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know how good you are. Don't be afraid to charge what you're worth. Like, is what it is. And you will, like, I did encounter a lot of people, like, slide into DMs, like, can you do this? They'll, like, send me, like, a 3-tiered cake or something. And then they'll be like, bearing in mind, and it's, like, got all these... honestly,
£30, quickly, mate.
And it's got, like, all these, like... It wasn't even in my niche, for start, right? My niche is very specific. It says it in my bio. It's contemporary cakes.
Jeez.
I don't do...
One more time, just for the camera.
Contemporary cakes. But yeah, so that was a specific niche. So I don't do drip cakes. Well, I don't do cakes anymore, but you know, I didn't do drip cakes. I don't do anything like that. I don't do what do they call it? Fondant. So I don't do fondant like
I have no idea.
Novelty cakes. Novelty cakes.
Yeah, I still don't know.
Basically, you know the icing. The icing.
Superman, what?
You know that thick icing that you get on cakes? Yeah, I don't do that.
I just can't let it.
That's not my thing.
That's not novelty, I'm guessing.
No, novelty cakes is like, you know, like the camera cake that I made. So I don't.
Oh, so you don't do that?
The one that we got for you.
I don't do that. That was just...
That was a special occasion.
She did that one for my birthday.
I was there.
You see the one... You see the one that we did for you, for the J10XJJ Studios one? Yeah, like that.
That's novelty, yeah. I don't do that. I just thought, you know what, let me just try it out. And let me just do something a bit, you know.
That's making bare sense now.
But I don't do stuff like that. Anyways, yeah. So they'll send me something like 3-tier, whatever. And then, obviously, you charge by slice. You've got to think about it as if you go... Yeah, this is how I, like, try and break it down to people when they're like... Ooh. I'm just like, well, think about that. You go to a restaurant... You get a dessert, it costs you £7 for that dessert. You're paying for £7 for each person. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, they'll send me something like that and then I would tell them the person like, oh, I've only got, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Like I can do this is what is within budget. I would present that to them and then that's it. They'll go or they'll come. And then obviously that will get you'll feel a bit disheartened because you're like, oh, rah, people don't even want to pay like, because am I charging too much? Then you start questioning yourself.
See, when you were working this out, like in your head, like how much you're going to start charging, did it take you a while to figure it out?
Yeah, of course. But there was, so there's this amazing business coach that I stumbled across. I can't even remember how I stumbled across a video of what, but her name's Natasha Arumbe. And she's a cake business coach and she also has a cake business. And I can't remember how I got across, anyway. So we started talking DMs and then I started watching her videos and stuff like that. And she would often like talk about charging your customers correctly and stuff like that. Like, don't be afraid to and charge what you're worth and like that. So I was literally just doing research and looking at, you know, not comparing to like companies, but more to the small independent cake businesses out there and looking at calculators, just like researching things yourself to find out how much roughly you should be charging and how you go about that as well. There's loads of calculators and stuff that can help you out with that.
I was gonna say, after a while, I don't necessarily see the problem with charging the same as the corporates. For example,
of
people
course.
killed what's the family that played basketball and like had a dad who's very outspoken, like the Bull family. So like they got a parachute, like the Bull family in it. They killed their dad for saying, "Why are you charging the same as Jordans? Why can't he?"
You're running by Jordan.
What? Like what? Or it was expensive. It was like $700, something like that. I was like, why can't he? You lot will put on anything a celeb wears. Like Kanye West can come out here in teared sleeves and his shorts up to here, and you're gonna buy it because it's Kanye West, and he'll charge you $2,000 for that. So I think if you can sell it, what is the sell? Charge that much, because it's all about what is the sell. What is the sell? Why do I need to purchase this? Why is it this much?
Yeah.
There's always a what and why to everything.
It's true. And you need to remember that you can't even compare yourself to these companies because they've got a whole ton of workers behind them, you know, helping to process that.
They also started like you.
Yeah, exactly.
They actually started like you.
Yeah.
It started in someone's garage, in someone's back garden. None of these corporations that you lot are talking about, unless they got back to old Europe money, which we can talk about, but not on this podcast. It goes further back than that anyway. But anyway, you got that sort of money there, and even then, that comes from somewhere. So that doesn't come from, you know what I'm saying, I just have it. And most of those people took either their own hard work from their great-great-grandparents or next people's ancestors' hard work. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, go on. We're gonna say.
So them times you were like undercharging
Yeah.
for your kids. Was it a thing of like you hadn't done the research before and you were kind of just like freestyling like, oh yeah, this much? Or had you at that point done the research but maybe there was like a bit of fear in you where it was like, if I charge this much, they might not, you know, want to buy it?
Yeah, it was that second one. Literally, like, I'd done my research, but I was just like, I don't think I can. Kind of fear, like, of like, oh, no one's gonna buy it. But the funny thing is even though, like, I was getting those emails, those DMs where people were like, oh, it's too, like, oh, sorry, like, I can't afford it. Out of nowhere, there was the customers that were actually willing to pay.
As
like,
your customers.
Yeah, my customer. Like, there's a customer for everyone.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna
just
say,
remember that.
Because there's nothing wrong with people not being able to afford something. Though. I don't think that should be demonized. As in, if you genuinely don't have the piece from the outset and you can't afford it, I think it's fine to say that. Because if you talk business, sometimes things fall through. But for customers, you had to start saying that is a bit mad. Is a bit strange.
Yeah, because even like sometimes I'd be like, so I try to be fair and we'll be like, oh, okay, what's your budget? Let's work with that. Let's see what we can do with that.
That's a fair enough question.
Just to see it, so I can still like accommodate you most likely, but it's not going to be what you want. But let's see what we can do with that and whatnot.
I think that's pretty fair.
And if they give me a rough idea, then I know, okay, you can do this, that, and the other.
For that much, and maybe not what you're asking for, because that is worth that much and that is outside of you. But I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Were you getting customers for like events, or was it like personalized, like someone wanted it for their birthday?
Yeah, it was more so like personal, like birthdays. Did I do it? No, I didn't do an event. That was literally the only event I think that I did. But it was mostly birthdays, anniversary, kind of cakes, yeah.
Okay. And was it people that like knew of you through like a friend?
No, this is the crazy. Like, some were people that knew of me through someone else, but most of them were like random people I'd never met in my life, ever.
It's booming,
they literally were just like, obviously you would... When you follow Cake or when you're searching for something, you will start to see their work popping up. So obviously they've probably just found me from somewhere, and then they've just sent me a message, and they're like, "Oh, can you?" Do you know what I mean? It's like that, literally.
Okay.
Like people I've never met before, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing."
It must be a nice feeling. Like definitely being able to, you know, you're charging for your art, but it's still you creating something, putting it out there. Someone has admired it and said, oh, I want to actually like do something with it. And they've taken it and they've gone, yeah, this is really nice. Thank you so much for this. Like, that bit of appreciation from someone that don't owe you nothing, has never, like, you've never met them or anything.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And they genuinely want to support and whatnot. Yeah, that was that was nice.
It's very cool. So I want to ask you about.
I've tried to hold it down for like 20 minutes.
No, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah. We got.
What
Yeah.
you got left?
Just one more.
No, I'm just asking. You just got one more question.
Basically, yeah. With your brand Untitled Studios, obviously hearing the story is quite personal to you. Like it means something. It's not like, yeah, like it really does mean something to you. And then how you want to turn it into a business where obviously you're putting out there, you're making money from it, but you're sharing something personal with people. I'm someone who, because I've said it before as well, like when I'm making this music or when I'm making anything, it's for me.
Yeah.
And it's for me to enjoy, for me and my friends to like just sit back and just, enjoy as we're making it. And so I have a thing where like, there's obviously going to have to be money involved because you have to see yourself as a business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? In the world that we live in, like that is just how things work. But is there also an element of you that's like, this one here that you're making, as much as you need to charge for it, you're kind of like, you want to see it go to someone. If you were to see it go to someone, you want to see it go to someone that actually cares for it and that's going to make something like useful of it. Because at the end of the day, that's something that you've made and it's personal to you.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever feel like maybe you want to hold back from it if the right person's like looking at it, or you're like, maybe this one I want to keep for myself? Like, do you have like moments where you're like making something and it's like that?
Yeah. There's like a few that I'm like, oh my God, I love it so much. But I've just got to think, okay, Cheryl, look, you can take a photo. I just take a photo of every single one so I have that memory of it at least, because I can't, I'm supposed to be selling it, I can't keep it. So as much as I love it and each piece is
I was gonna say, sorry to like just come off the back of your question.
Yeah.
Do you make pieces for yourself? So if it's not cakes, then personalized bit and you just hold on to it?
No, I actually don't have any that I've made for myself. But obviously when I was testing out and doing like, basically essentially samples, so like I take photos of, like to pop on my website and to like send out, they're not completely perfect. So they will be sold, but they'll just be like for sample sale. So I probably won't hold on to all of them, but I think I will personally like make some for myself just to have around, because I mean, why would you make a product and not have them in your home? Like,
it makes perfect sense to me.
But I will, but not too many.
Would you say you're not as like sentimental?
I'm very sentimental.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it's so bad.
Because
I have things like I have things from like when I was in secondary school that people gave to me. Like,
you're
that hold on
type
to it, and I still have it.
From secondary?
It could be from anywhere, like friendships or
like primary school.
Yeah, even from primary school, I've got things. I've
still.
got like my old like English like books.
I've got old.
Do you remember
books,
they had like lamination over them?
I've got old. books,
my God! Oh,
but.
That just feels so, and you had to,
the one that you peel and they stick, and then they had this square with your name and your set. Yeah, I have like all of my artwork still in my portfolios. And my sketchbooks. It's so bad. Like I need to figure out a balance, because like space. But yeah, hold on to like almost everything so bad. But yeah, I do. I am very sentimental.
Okay. Because me, I'd feel like I'm more sentimental as well. There's music that I've made that it's probably ready to come out. It's never going to come out.
Or it will come out. You can't say that.
No, I'm not saying not never. I know it will come out at some point.
Tomatoes.
But this guy's so dark. No, but yeah, it's the fact that, like, number one, for me, it doesn't feel finished. I know it is, but in the back of my mind, I'm just like, nah, I can't let go of it. I can't let people hear it the way it is now. And then it's also like, this probably meant something to me more at the time than it. Like, I'm one of the people, I make something and I can be like super hyped for it. Someone in the back might be like, oh yeah, it's all right. I'm going to remember that moment. I'm going to sit there and be like,
it's all right.
They didn't fuck with it. They really didn't fuck with it. And I'll absorb it and be like, internalize it. It's like, nah.
Serious?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I've grown to like, be better at it. but I was so I'm trying to be better
That was
at it.
so
and just
Croydon, by the way.
Let go. Very,
That-
very, very. But it's very much like you make something, and in that moment in time, that's the best thing that's the best thing that I've heard in that moment. I could have played like a Kanye beat. I'm like, oh, fuck that. This right here was the shit. So I'm kind of in the thing where like I need to grow out of it and actually like it needs to come out. Because someone might actually hear it and be like, I want to work with
People
you.
will like it, man. You're holding yourself back with that stuff.
Oh no, I know. I'm being humble,
man.
right? But yeah, then there's also the thing of I think I still hold on to the idea that there is, gonna be music that like I'll make for myself. I'll never sell it, and I want to be okay with it because it doesn't need to be for
Anyone else,
profit
but
or anything other than
just making it because you want to make it for you, and that's that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like I said before, like I'm not producing full time. I don't think that's gonna be my bag in the future. I will produce when I need to. Hey, relax. Relax. I will make money from music. I will be in the business. I'm saying. I'm dead. No, but it just won't be straight from production. It'll be other avenues. Do you know what I mean?
Licensing. I hear you. Longevity.
Yeah.
There's a catalogue.
Just ownership in general. Do you know what I mean?
We have to give that a black hand.
Yeah.
Give that a black hand.
Bitch, I'm a boss.
It's a big thing.
Why is it so sassy? Man said, man shook your head when you said it.
Yeah. No, but because production means so much more to me than just, I'm going to make money. Like, before, when I was growing up, it was a lot of the fame, the money, the lifestyle, whatever. But
You was actually trying to be Kanye,
I was
innit?
trying to be Kanye, man.
Like I could tell.
Anyway. All of that. But, no, like, that experience of being in the studio with your friends and making music meant more to me than, like, all the other stuff that I could think of. So... Oh man, this guy's so awesome.
I was gonna do it, but my mic's loud.
So just looking ahead to my future and like what I wanted it to be like, it was like I'm gonna keep those moments and I'm gonna like keep going to the studio and have those for myself. There'll be moments where I'm in the studio making like the songs that make money, and that's cool. But I want to essentially just keep the moments for myself and for my peoples. Do you know what I mean? Because it's that much of a passion for me, essentially is what I'm saying. Yeah, I just feel like with anyone else doing it, however the level of passion is for them, there should always be part of you that's going to your studio or wherever you make your art to just make it for the sake of I'm enjoying it.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it or don't do it.
Yeah.
Love it or don't do it. And I hate this guy sometimes.
He's an arsehole, blood. This guy's all snoring and that.
As I was gonna say as well, have business-minded people around you so they can deal with it.
Yes, yeah.
The best artists in the world don't partake in business.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Always ask for help. Yeah. I think that's a good way to wrap it up, to be honest. What do you
Well,
say?
I was going to say one more thing.
Got one more question?
No, not a question, but I feel like you sound like you have business-minded people around you, because like everything that you sort of spoke on, it's a very like from early you were very like mature in how you wanted to go and conduct your thing. Like you've gone through, you've had mistakes, you've gone through like potholes or whatever, but you've come out and you sound like you're very like, you know where you want to go. But would you say that the people around you like have shaped that and have actually like put you on, and how important has that been to you?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, obviously the cake thing, it literally came from online. Like I was just following loads of people. I was literally talking to people online, like on Instagram. I was doing lives with people that I'd never met in my life, but we like formed a community, and I think
That's
off
dope.
of that, like we had our groups. Funny enough, yeah. During Christmas, we actually did Secret Santa. Yes.
Like on live.
No, literally, we had to like do it. No,
No, that is crazy.
No,
to get your Christmas. Oh, man.
No, we literally, it was meant to be an in-person like Christmas dinner, but it couldn't happen because of COVID. So like we had a WhatsApp group, and then we literally, there's like a generator.
like a name generator, and then you pull the
Just
name.
like at work.
You put
Hold
your
that
address
T,
in there.
a fine. You know how long this girl wasn't at work? I gave her present like yesterday, bruv.
Oh, I guess that, man.
I had that since December, fam. You know, it's nearly April, fam.
Yeah,
Big up
for
my
me,
Virgin
my work
T. See,
people's
it's
like,
okay.
Yeah,
so
literally
long.
generator. You put your address there. You put, what you would like, and then whoever had your name, they see your address. You just basically post it to them. So then that's how we did it. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
but we had a budget. It was like £10.
£15 max,
It was like
bruv.
£10 max.
She said whatever you like.
Yeah, no, that's what.
No,
when
no,
I first heard that, I was
no.
like,
Yeah,
what
you
you like?
But what I'm trying to say.
I put that Rolls Royce up in there.
No, within
So
budget,
good.
of course. And it was kind of like there was like loads of Amazon suggestions and whatnot. I got
That's the same
mine
thing we had, honestly.
a plant,
That's smart.
like from Papaya Plants, one of my favourite little independent businesses.
Come on.
Alright. So yeah, she actually delivered them herself because if it's local, she'll deliver, which was really good.
She's
She
tugged that. I
delivered
respect
it.
her too.
Yes, so that was nice of her. She got it to her door. But where was I?
I was trying to think, yeah, and you looked at me like I was trying to gather it for you, and then man just gave me the look of like, now. And I forgot. Now.
Oh, no, okay,
Find me my
I remember
place.
now. You was talking about business,
Friends,
community,
your
running.
peoples, yes. Yeah.
So yeah, to an extent, yeah, because I didn't study business. However, I've always had like an entrepreneurial streak in me. Like I used to sell cards when I was in secondary school.
Cards.
I used to make handmade cards,
Yeah.
and then I'd like sell them.
You was built for that still.
And then
because,
obviously,
because there were enough men who would buy Sainsbury's cookies and flip that. That was a profit.
remember £1? No, do you remember £1 deals?
Aye.
£1
The
deals.
original bad man of that, I have to
No.
give him, like my old school, Shay Cole.
£1
Yeah.
deals. No one had
Yeah.
£1 deals. In
They had
school.
£1.50. These men were
It
doing
went up-
inflation
it
in my
did go
team.
up to £1.50.
I had like £2 at one point. Man, was feeding the
It did go up
streets.
to £1.50, but like £1 deals, they'll go to like the pound shop. They'll buy loads of crisps.
It wasn't
loads of
nah, it was like
drinks, loads of
30p at one
chocolate.
point, I swear.
And then they would sell
Allegedly.
that.
Wait. Allegedly.
Shit, yeah, we're rapping.
Allegedly.
From back in the day.
Allegedly. So you don't know whose case is on what, you know?
I'm safe in
Yeah,
it.
that's true. I start the man
I'm so dead.
But yeah, to an extent, they did, of course. And I still have like people in my life now that are great help, whatnot.
Oh. That one sounds like a violation of personal
But yeah, to an extent, yeah, of course.
That's good.
It's all about the people that you have around you as well to help that drive as well, because there's gonna be times that like I can't do this, but of course you can.
Very key. Yeah, like I think one of you guys said before, like having people around you.
The right people.
The right
Yeah,
people.
that are gonna push you and like hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And it's time to, like, if you need to X out some people from your life, that's how the circle of life goes. Man.
Yeah. Make this
Nah, I don't even in that sort of manner. It's more so of a manner of
so you can grow
naturally.
Yeah, of course.
And I've kind of come to terms with that. I've come to terms with that.
Make it a normality.
Yeah,
like,
I've
not
come to-
every friendship has to be, I've known this person for 10 years. It's like,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
There's certain people, we're just not cool like that.
just
And
cut
it,
it.
Coincidentally, 10 years.
Yeah.
It's mad. But yeah, no, I think that can wrap it up there.
I've decided to wrap it up.
I do. We had a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for coming through.
It's been fun. Thanks for having me.
With the
Yeah.
super talented Cheryl Bruce. Rap.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in to the Experimentation Podcast, the greatest podcast in the whole world. I said it. If you got chat for it, come find me. Big LA out, you get me?
Yeah, Jerry the Kid, aka Return of the Kid. You already know.